vehicle, it's often a split-second decision whether to stay in the cab or get out and deploy a fire shelter. No consensus exists on what is the safest approach, because opinions differ concerning the protection an engine offers in a burnover. After several vehicle burnovers, the Forest Service Washington office directed the Missoula Technology and Development Center to gather data on the conditions inside an engine and a shelter during a burnover. The objective was not to determine if the firefighters should stay with their vehicle or deploy a shelter. Instead, the goal was to gather as much data as possible under identical burnover conditions. These findings would give fire agencies some basis for policy direction on vehicle entrapments. The Forest Service test plan called for a series of controlled burnovers that would expose engines and shelters to identical flame and heat. Both the engines and the shelters would be fully instrumented with temperature, heat, and gas sensors. Video cameras set up next to the engines and shelters The cab of the patrol vehicle and the standard fire shelter were instrumented with gas collectors to determine the levels of any gases generated during the burnover. Gear is spread out among the vehicles and shelters. Some fire shirts are fitted with 5-gallon water bags. The idea is for the water bags to act as a heat sink not unlike the human body. Fuels catch quickly. Flame lengths reach 12 to 20 feet high as the fire moves up the slope. Within minutes, the fire reaches the vehicles and shelters. Air temperatures outside the vehicles peaked at 1,000 degrees centigrade between 48 and 60 inches above the ground, cracking windows, scorching paint, and doing other exterior damage. Within about a minute of the fire reaching the patrol vehicle, its cab filled with heavy smoke, even though nothing inside was on fire. The interior contained a large amount of vinyl and plastic. The change in color of the pants shows the effect of heat. The heat sink effect of the water bag inside the fire shirt kept it from becoming as hot as the legs of the After crews touched off the fire, a wind shift occurs which prevents direct flame contact with the vehicles and shelters, but they are exposed to high radiant heat loads. Nevertheless, these burnovers did provide enough data to make some preliminary judgments. Burning up a steep side slope appears to go over the top of a vehicle as well as under the chassis. This creates an eddy effect, drawing heat and flame to the backside of the engine. Under such conditions, firefighters should not seek shelter behind an engine for this reason. The temperature and radiant heat flux generally increase with the height above the ground in most fuel types except grass and light brush. This observation has special relevance considering the height of an engine cab off the ground compared to a fire shelter. Both engines and fire shelters were positioned for maximum exposure to the flame. Moving just a few feet away from the edge of the road, especially a road cut above a steep slope, significantly reduces the effect of radiant heat on both the firefighter and the engine. For safety reasons, gas tanks on all the test vehicles were drained. In an actual burnover, gasoline or diesel fuel is a potential threat to firefighters in the vehicle or nearby. Loads, tempered window glass may break out. This can occur when the inside and outside temperature difference is no more than 40 degrees centigrade. And fatalities will be reduced.